Hello, this is Beth from Pearl Treasure Designs. Welcome to this collaboration challenge with the First Friday playlist. I am so excited to have you today, so let's get started. And I will introduce more of our hosts and co-hosts later on this video. So here we are getting ready to start our first DIY. There's nothing like getting off to an amazing start with Patriotic Tags. So I've started this. I had hodgepodged the fabric to the wooden tag that I had cut out using my 4-inch saw, and it didn't quite go well, so I had my husband finish cutting them. So hodgepodging the top of this after it had already dried to completely seal it in, and I will let that dry. And I did a couple of these, so you'll get to see that in just a second. So we're going to let this play out for just a minute here. I'm moving this into fast forward so you get to see the process, adding the fabric to the block. And I did burnish that and make sure that it was nice and secure to the wood block itself. Trimming up any of the ends so that there's no fray, and the hodgepodge can finish sealing those edges. I probably should have waited to open those up a little bit, but I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to do it when it was dry. And so here I am adding the embellishments to the tag, and I kind of did a ragtag end to this and added the red, white, and blue beads to the star tag, and I figured that I would just tie this in a knot at the end so that they were at different levels on the jute cord, and then tied off the end, and you'll get to see that in just a second. And now we get to introduce our hosts. Our host for the First Friday playlist is Lisa from Our Gray House, Sarah from Jujubee DIY, and Charlene from Crafty Art Shack. Each one of these ladies has a link found in my description box, so be sure to check out each of their gifted and extremely talented channels. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It helps them and it helps you too. And now on to our DIY number 2. Here we are doing our Patriotic Poppers, party poppers. And I did use a couple of different napkins for this, basically cutting them to size, hodgepodging them to the outside of the popper. And you'll get to see this as I figured out how I wanted it to look. So I did paint the outside of the popper white because the details were showing through the paper. And so to make it as clean looking as possible, I did go ahead and do that. One coat was sufficient. And then once that dried, I was able to then start the hodgepodging techniques with the napkins. So you'll get to see this as we go along here. So now that the paint is dry, I am adding the first layer of hodgepodge to the white and then smoothing it down as I go along with the napkin. This is actually pretty easy. And once I got to the end, I did take an Exacto knife and I did cut along the seam. It gave a great guide and it worked out perfectly. I did cover the top with white paint, let that dry, and then we will go through that with the Hodge Podge as well. Now these are functional poppers, so these will work when it's time to release the confetti. Here you're going to see that I took some black yarn and I did dip them in some Hodge Podge to keep them straight, and I left one end without glue. I wanted it to stick to the top of the popper. So I let them dry, and we'll go on to DIY number 3. I took this sign from the dollar store. It had 3 parts, took it apart, and decided that I wanted to make a napkin holder. Didn't like it. I'm not crazy about glitter, so I did go through and cover the entire thing front and back and the edges with white chalk paint from Waverly. And I wanted to make sure that it was sealed so that none of that would chalk off or come apart. I don't like glitter at all. So it did leave a design, so I decided to cut up my wood, and I also painted that with chalk paint. And I hodgepodge both pieces with the napkins I had used with the poppers, front and back, and the smooth side is out. I decided that I would align these with just some decorative brads that I had in my stockpile, and I'm going to just put these in place. I did go ahead and put glue down to secure it in place while I added the brads to make sure that it didn't move. And I love how this came out. It's just so unique, and it's not just glued. It added an extra element to it. So I can't wait to use these. And yeah, my fingers. I kept dropping the brads, so this will be a little comedic action for you. These turned out really well. So you'll get to see all of these projects that we've been working on today in the final reveal. You'll get to see the rest of these projects in our final reveal. Okay, y'all, just as I promised, you're going to get to see me walk through what we now know was a tornado. So enjoy the clips. Well, Lord, y'all, we're gonna get a chance to see this. Hang on, this is just getting good. This just hit us suddenly. Oh, Lord. Okay, power's out. And I just discovered that my husband has a tree down. Yeah, on his truck. This is what we cleared from the driveway alone just to get back to the house. Tree limb was on Scott's truck, and there's another one on the fence. Flooding everywhere.
Not a fan of that.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Again, this is Beth with Pearl Treasure Designs. If you have spiritual support, please go to Pastor Beth Kelly at Beth Kelly Podcast on YouTube or pastorbethkelly@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We are all in this together.